guys, it is a beautiful day and the sun is not really out and shining, but you know, sometimes it's just bright and your eyes hurt. I don't know about you, but my eyes are shocked because it's so bright outside. But anywho, it's a beautiful day and it's time to DIY something. It's time to make something with our hands. So today I'm feeling a little hungry for one of my favorite things. Y'all know I love cheese as a vegetarian, not a vegan. Probably why I cannot really go hard and be all in on the vegan diet, because I can't get away from cheese. And I'm not a big milk or dairy product person. Yeah, milk is not my jam. It just never has really been something that I just drank a cup of, or, you know, cereal, of course, but as an adult, I don't even eat cereal as much anymore, but I do love bread. Cheese and bread. But it doesn't always love me. If you have that problem, I know when we were younger, they used to always say, don't eat all those rolls, because we would just, the homemade rolls, guys, wait till I make these homemade rolls. I'm not doing that this week, but homemade rolls with the butter, just melts in your mouth. But anyway, we're gonna make some bread this week and it's gonna be amazing, and I've never done it. It's something that I just really enjoy because I love pizza, cheese, bread. Listen, the two best toppings, the two best things right there in one delicious bite with some tomato sauce. Listen, it doesn't get any better than pizza. But I digress, because we're not making homemade rolls and we're not making pizza. We might have to make some focaccia. Let's do it. So this list of ingredients is so super easy. Flour, water, yeast, sugar or honey, and sea salt. So easy. Let me tell you, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like things everyone has in their pantry like right now. So this flour in particular is artesian bread flour, so I thought it would be perfect for making bread. So we're going to try it out. You're going to first start off with 1 1/3 cup of water, and then you're going to cut open your packet of yeast, just one simple packet. Now make sure you didn't grab it from the back of your pantry and it's expired. Make sure it's good to go. Mix that in with the water. So you're going to mix that up. Just let it dissolve a little bit and get down in that water. It shouldn't take that long, maybe about 3 minutes of stirring. And then you're going to add your honey or sugar. I just added 1 little teaspoon of sugar and mix that in too. Next, you're going to want to add in your flour, all-purpose flour, 3 3/4 cup of flour. Now, I forgot to mention that I did not pour all of that water in. I did half of the water in with the yeast, sugar, and then all of the flour, because you're going to need some more liquid here in a moment just to get it to start sticking a little bit better, because that flour is going to soak it all up. So you're just going to want to mix that in really good until you've got a pretty good consistency. Then you're going to add your sea salt. I remembered sea salt after I already tried to open up just the regular table salt, but sea salt works best here. So I'm just going to get some out because this is a lot and I don't want to over salt my bread. But the good thing is that you really do need a little bit more salt. So the salt that it calls for is 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt, sea salt. So I added that. And then you're going to want to mix in the salt and then go ahead and pour the rest of that water in and mix that up good. So that way the consistency of this flour mixture is going to start mixing and getting really dough-like. while we're waiting for that dough to rise and get good and ready, I'm going to come outside and get some rosemary. So this focaccia bread is going to be amazing and very aromatic with rosemary and lots of olive oil. So outside here in our garden, we have some fresh rosemary. So I just went to snip and cut off some fresh rosemary and brought that back in the house. Okay, so the timer has gone off and 30 minutes has passed, so we're going to just see what's happening with this dough. Now, it's only been 30 minutes, so not too much has happened, but you can see it is starting to rise just a little bit. Now, what you want to do is to make sure that you are folding it in from the bottom and getting it unstuck, and just really kind of taking some time to knead the dough. Well, not necessarily knead it, but just to kind of fold it over into the middle and just kind of turning the bowl while you're pulling up from the bottom. Take your time with this process and make sure you get it really nice and smooth and form back into a ball. And then you're just going to cover it back up because guess what? We've got to wait again. Another 60 minutes on the timer for this rising session, and this one will take a little bit longer because we really want to give it some time to set and to rise. So use your timer so that you don't forget. Something that really makes me happy is to clean as I go. Do you clean as you go, or do you just kind of like feel happy in a crazy chaotic space? Listen, nothing is good or happy about a crazy chaotic space. So clean as you go. Take it from me. It really makes it easier in the end because then you don't have to sit down, enjoy your meal, and then worry about cleaning up a dirty kitchen because it's halfway clean. It's pretty much done already if you clean as you go. Okay, so we have waited another 60 minutes and now the dough is rising even more, and you can see the air bubbles already in here. So this dough is really coming along quite nicely. So what you're going to want to do is uncover your dough, grab your olive oil, and then we're going to put it in our hand. So when you pour some of this in your hand, just rub it around the pan good and try to get underneath the dough and start to fold it over again. Now, this is very similar to what we were doing with the spoon or the spatula, and you're going to want to just try to pull it away from the pan and pull it over to the center so that we can form a dough ball again. Then grab your cooking sheet or pan or pot or however you're going to cook your focaccia, and make sure you put a generous amount of olive oil in the bottom, because the purpose of this is we just don't want it to stick too much. Now it's going to stick because it's going to cook up and soak up all that goodness, but just make sure you don't over oil, but make sure you don't under oil either. So grab your dough, it's in a nice round ball, and put it in the middle and make sure that it's not sticking. So adding more olive oil to the top of the bread will help, and it will really give you the opportunity to massage that oil in and get it prepared for baking. Now it's time for the final rise. You're going to cover that, set it aside for another 30 minutes, and look, yes, it has risen and it is really good to go. So more olive oil. I know you're thinking, wow, that's a lot. It's really not as much as you think. So just make sure you are coating it, because you want to make that dough really coated in olive oil. And then you're just going to lightly poke your fingers down into the dough so that we can get those focaccia dimples and make the holes for the bread. And then make sure that you're kind of softly, gently pulling it to the side of your pan. Now, don't forget about that rosemary that we grabbed from the garden. You're going to use rosemary. You can use oregano, or you can just do olive oil and salt and pepper if that's what you like. So make sure that you pull off any of the stems and get the rosemary fresh and ready to go. It's finally time for baking. Oh my gosh. So 425 degrees for about 20-25 minutes. Take your time and use your judgment, because every oven is going to be a little bit different. So go ahead and put your focaccia bread inside the oven and place it kind of in the middle so that it can get some good heat. And then we wait. Let me tell you guys, this bread was smelling so good while it was baking. So 20 minutes is about all it's going to take. I actually did let mine stay in there a little bit longer, because you can do 425 or 450. Just depends on how hot your oven gets. And I probably, in hindsight, would do 450 just so that I can do the 20-minute time frame. Another best practice is to heat up your oven about 30 minutes before you put it in there, so that the temperature will stay hot and high before you get ready to start that first initial bake. Guys, look at this bread. So crispy, so crunchy, and just aromatic. It smells so good in here. So make sure that you let it rest for a little bit and cool off, and then you can pull it straight from the pan. I was able to remove mine pretty easily. I shook it around and got a spatula under there to get it unstuck a little bit, but look how pretty. Isn't it beautiful? I don't know about you, but I love to have some bread, dip it in some olive oil with some great herbs. It's just delicious. So cutting it was super easy. nice and crunchy. And we actually had spaghetti for dinner that evening, and it was a perfect combination. So what are your thoughts? Doesn't this look just so airy, so crunchy, and delicious? Let me tell you, I will be putting this on my menu more often for the week. It's nice to have fresh homemade ingredients and things in your house that you can eat and make with ease. So I hope you'll try this recipe and share it with your family. So that was so good. Oh my goodness. Let me tell you, that was not easy. And I think I was a little anxious about it for a reason, because it's serious business making bread. So I hope you guys enjoyed this week's DIY, making your own focaccia bread, and hope that you try it. I am excited about continuing this journey, and thank you for being here. So remember to like and share and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye.